This video I'm going to show you how to fit motherboard into the PC case. First thing to start from is this back panel in here. I'll show it from the other side. This back panel comes with a motherboard, so every motherboard has it different. There is no universal one. And after the motherboard's back panel, I think it's what's it called, I/O panel, input/output panel, but I just call it motherboard's back panel. So once that in place, that just clicks in. You just push it in there and just make sure it's tight. It just clips in, and every case has it the same. The area in here, the size is universal, but all the holes in here are different. And the best place to lift the motherboard from is usually the heatsink. You just lift it from here, or some of the motherboards, they come in a bundle that already the CPU and the cooler is fitted. If the cooler is fit on top, you can lift it from the CPU cooler, that's fine. But I lift it from the heatsink. And also it's not a good idea to touch any of the components, and do not touch the motherboard underneath, that's a bad idea. So lift it from this, or from the sides. That's an old motherboard, that's not a primary computer build, so don't mind that. I just thought I'm gonna show it in bits. Right, next step is to fit the motherboard under angle like this. Just angle it like that. Make sure you do not scratch it on the PC case, because it's quite fragile from underneath. Well, not very fragile, but better not to scratch it. Right, you're gonna put it in place in there. Still keep it under angle. Then angle it downwards slowly. Do not rest it on the chassis yet. What you do is line up all the holes. So you can see one in there where the screws go. I can rest it right now because I put the screw mounts in there, except this one. And I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them in here. So you line all of them up first. Do not let go of the motherboard if you're doing that, because you obviously don't have the mounts. Remember where the screws have to go. Take the motherboard out and fit all of these. I've left the last one out, which goes in here. I'll show you how they look like. It looks like this. These are the mount screws, so once you know exactly where they go in, you just fit all of them, including the one I left out. And you just hand tighten them. You don't have to be tight enough, because once you put the screws in there, then it does the job. But make sure there is no cap between that it's actually properly in there. But you don't have to tighten them with any pliers or anything. Well, then you take the motherboard, slide it in there, and let it just touch down on these. And then you need to get the right screws. Now, choosing the right screws, if you don't know which screws actually fit in the motherboard, well, usually the motherboard comes with a lot of screws, so you don't really know which one is right. Now, the best thing to do if choosing the screws, take one of these and simply take a screw and just try if it actually fits this one. Take this one, take the screw and try it in there. Well, I already know this one fits, and that's how it usually looks like. Come on, focus, camera, focus, there you go. That's how it usually looks like. And another thing you want is a magnetic screwdriver, which means it takes the screw and holds it. Put the screw like this, so it's already ready. Put the screw carefully in there. Do not hit the motherboard with it, and just tighten it. It's a little bit difficult to hold the camera with one hand, but yeah. And how tight they should be? Well, not too tight. Just make sure they're like, just hold the screwdriver with like 2 fingers, and just enough that you don't overdo them. And most important thing is that make sure you don't, like, if the screw is like on the motherboard, that if you're tightening it too much, then sometimes the screwdriver can slip on the motherboard. If you do that, then most likely you're gonna break the motherboard, so be very careful if you tighten the screws. And the best way is to go cross. If you put the first screw in there somewhere, then the second one should go all the way like in here, like cross. Then the next one up in there, then in there, and then the rest. And the reason why you should do that is because this way the motherboard will be as straight as possible. So that's the best way to do it. Now we have the motherboard intact, and that's how easy it is. Now for the next bit, you need the motherboard's manual, or you can download the manual from internet, which in this case I have it in here. You just need one specific place to see the pin layouts, which is in here. I don't know how well you can see this. It's this place that I'm showing you. It's up here actually. So you need to find out which one is like the power LED and stuff like this. For example, if you see in here, you see what I'm showing. You see just on my fingertips. It says reset, which is ground and reset. So ground is the minus, and on the CPU case, I mean the PC case, we find reset. And well, it doesn't say minus and plus, but I'd assume that plus is blue and minus is white. At least it should be. Then we have a power switch. This means what turns the computer on and off. I'd assume the same, that white is minus. They all have white, so I assume that white is minus. And actually, if you have, no, it doesn't say it, but I know white is minus. White is always minus. So, and there we have a power LED. I mean the HDD LED. This shows you when the hard drive is being used. And unfortunately this case has a different power LED, which is a 3-pin one. Well, it uses 2 pins, but it has 3, so I have to cut it off and replace it with another one, because in here, it's this place in here, this is different. As seen on this one, the power is on the top left. Yeah, it was power LED. You don't actually need it. It just doesn't show when the computer is turned on. It will still work, so I'm going to leave it disconnected for now. But this is the most important thing. You just read the layout from here and connect it in the same order. Remember, white is minus, or so-called ground, which is marked as GND. USB and the audio, that's simple. Just trying to unravel it. There are two USB connectors in here. It says USB on that, and if you look close on the motherboard, these blue connectors, they say USB on the motherboard. They can go only one way because one of the pins is missing. As you can see, it's like blank, not blank, but it's like no hole in there. And it's the same in there, so you can only put them in one way, so you don't need manual for these. Then we have audio. One of them is AC97 and the other one HD audio. This you have to read from the motherboard, and this one, that light green one, it says HD audio, so you can connect the HD audio in there. And this is just for the front headphone jacks. You don't need it for the rear panel, obviously, because this is connected straight to the motherboard. And this is also the same, you can only connect it one way. You just connect them up and show them to you how they look like. And here's the final look of it. Well, this might go up a little bit and hide it in there. It's best place, best time to do some cable management. And you might also want to open up the other panel, as I've done, as you can see through from there. you open the back panel and you can tie the cables behind it. Make sure that this is not too tightly pulled in there, because you're gonna just end up breaking the cables like that, or just pulling it out of the motherboard. So if you do want to tighten it, press it together like with your fingers like this. So you like make a U shape in here like that, and then it's not under pressure. This I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but here you have it. USBs, and I left out this power LED because it's a different connector. I said you don't really need it, but I'll deal with that later. And here you have the completely fitted motherboard. And next time I'm gonna show you how to fit the CPU, which is probably the easiest, or maybe the RAM. But see you next time.